All right, good afternoon, you guys. This is Tabitha back with another video. It's been a extreme long time. Like it's been a long time. It's been an extremely long time since I've made a video, but if I'm being real with y'all, I honestly just wanted to make sure that my mindset was where it needed to be. I do not want to lead people astray, so I have to take the appropriate time to self-reflect and to kind of make sure that I'm doing my inner healing, my inner work, and to kind of stay afloat so that when I do these videos, I'm able to not only be in the correct energy that I need to be in, but I'm also not just kicking shit. You get what I'm saying? I'm making sure that I'm where I need to be so that I can relay the message how I need to relay the message. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I really do appreciate that. And I'm just grateful to be back. I'm grateful to actually do another video. This is my third video of my presentations that I've been doing overall. I haven't presented this presentation that I'm about to present to my high school kids yet, so you guys will be the first, but I will be posting it on my YouTube channel. A lot of my students are subscribed to my YouTube channel, and if they're not subscribed, I know that they look. I made sure that message was I made sure they had my information before I when I did my last two, to make sure that they stay afloat so that they can get the word as well. But overall, life has been lifing lately. You get what I'm saying? God has been talking to me. He's been taking me through the ropes, and he's been kind of, as I said before, making sure that I'm where I need to be mentally so that I can make sure that I'm staying afloat and staying within my path. I don't want to put myself in a predicament to where I go backwards. So as I said it before, I'm constantly doing the work. You grow every single day. You know what I'm saying? You learn something new every single day. So I just want to make sure that I'm staying afloat and I'm staying on top of what I need to stay on top of so that I can make sure that I'm excelling in all aspects of life. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Tabitha Brown. I am a published author of 2 books. Both of my books can be found on Amazon. The first one is called The Fire That Kept Within Me. I started writing that book when I was in high school. So just to give you guys a little backdrop on why I even started writing to begin with. This is my first book. Sorry guys. So this is my first book called The Fire That Kept Within Me. To give you guys a little bit of intel on why I even started writing to begin with. Before my book even became a book, I was just writing my thoughts down. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was just going through a lot in that period of my life. Like, when I was just in high school, and I was just writing it down just to kind of get that weight off of me. Like, writing is therapeutic to me. So when I was writing, it just made me feel a lot better within my situation, within my present circumstances at the time. So Guy kept telling me to reread my book. What wasn't my book at the time, was my journal, quote unquote diary. So I was so stuck in my ego, I'm not gonna lie, and I was just being stubborn as hell, and I just ignored him for real. And so I finally just kind of gave in, and I reread my book, or my quote-unquote journal at the time, and I did not only receive the answers that I needed for one particular question, or the few questions that I had, but I also received answers of what I was going through within that season as a whole. So it's like God was talking to me through me. So it was like, damn, if I can sit here and help myself within these trying moments of my life, I know for a fact that I can help somebody else. So I started taking writing serious. And so here I am 10 years later, damn near a decade later, writing like hella books. My second book is called All Grown Up. This can also be found on Amazon as well. I released this last year, 2025, March of 2025. So this book is something else. So just my story, period. Like, I'm so proud of myself, bro. Like, I just really am so proud of myself and how far I've come. Like, do I have a long way to go? Yes, I do, because I'm constantly growing, I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly trying to do what I need to do to make sure that I'm staying on top of my spiritual growth. You get what I'm saying? My spiritual strength. So I'm just trying to make sure that I stay aligned and afloat. You get what I'm saying? Especially in a world like today, in nowadays society, it's wicked and it's crazy as hell out here. You really have to stay on your toes. Now, you're not gonna always be on your toes, so that's why I always say you got to make sure that you are around important, not, I wouldn't even say important, but positive people. You got to make sure that you have the right people in your corner, so when you are going through those trying moments in life, you can have those people to remind you of who you are as an individual and where you're trying to get to when it comes to your not only your purpose but of your future endeavors. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, this second book can also be found on Amazon. Both books can be found on Amazon. As for my third publication, that is pending. Guy actually told me to wait a little when it comes to my third book. So I know between both of these books, I gave myself a time frame to publish each individual book within like a year and some change, as far as the gap, the time span. So that's the time frame that I gave myself to have all of my books publicized. But I know with this third book, honestly, with this third book, it's like a big chunk of my life. You get what I'm saying? I went through so many spiritual rebirths when it comes to this third book. So I just want to make sure that I'm going into depth how I need to go into depth, so that I can make sure I'm emphasizing on the things that I did to overcome my obstacles. Because a lot of people say like, oh, they try to minimize it, like, oh, I went through a lot, and they don't actually go into detail as far as how they the steps that they actually took to overcome certain obstacles. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part by breaking shit down to the T, so that I can make sure that I actually help somebody. That's the whole purpose of me telling my story, so that I can help the next person, to let them know that they're not, whatever they're going through, they're not going through it by themselves. That's how a lot of people off themselves. That's how a lot of people feel like they're alone, because they feel like can't nobody relate to them. You get what I'm saying? Now, everybody got their own path, their own trial and errors. I'm not saying that somebody's going to necessarily, I'm not saying that somebody is necessarily going through what I am going through, but there's a huge possibility that that is the case, because we live in a gigantic ass world. You get what I'm saying? So, and I don't want nobody to feel alone. Like, I know how that feels. And I know, and I've actually seen firsthand how loneliness and just feeling like you by yourself I can see what it does, how it does to the mind. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want that to just be, if it's something that I can prevent, or if it's something that I can help as far as telling my story, I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part and actually, putting it out there for real. Like, I want to help people. Like, that's my purpose. I want to help people. The goal is to give back. We all have our own individual purpose of why we're here on this earth, but you have to figure out your own person, your own purpose of who you are, and what and why God has brought you into this world. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think I just summed everything up as far as what I needed to do. Not what I needed to do, but just a little background on my endeavors, and just me as an individual. So let's go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty of the actual presentation itself. So it says, let's detox your heart and deprogram your mind. Okay, so again, it says, let's detox your heart and deprogram your mind. Okay, all right, so first slide. So it says, how do you detox your heart/soul? So first, we're going to define detox. Okay, so based off of the dictionary, it states that detoxing is the process of removing toxic or addictive substances, from the body. Okay, so detox, the process of removing toxic or addictive substances from the body. Now, what does spiritual detox mean? Spiritual detoxing is basically a intentional practice of cleansing negative energy, emotional burdens, and mental clutter to restore inner peace, balance, and well-being. Okay, so one more time. Spiritual detoxing is basically an intentional practice of cleansing negative energy, emotional burdens, and mental clutter to restore inner peace, balance, and well-being. Okay, so how do you detox your heart and soul spiritually? So you do these things by focusing on repentance, consistent prayer for purity, and immersing yourself in spiritual uplifting wisdom. So how do you do that? You basically do that by actively forgiving others to release bitterness, practicing humility, and aligning your daily actions with love and moral integrity. Okay, so this basically entails regularly examining your inner thoughts and motivations, etc. Okay, so on to the next slide. So how do you deprogram your mind? So how do you deprogram your mind? So we're gonna first define deprogramming, as we did with the last slide, with detoxing. So with this one, with defining deprogramming, that basically entails a controversial, often involuntary process designed to free an individual from strongly held beliefs, typically within religious, political, or social dynamics that are deemed harmful or cult-like, by interveners. Okay, so it involves removing a person from their group, isolating them, and using intensive, often cohesive, psychological or physical pressure to break the mind control or conditioning they are perceived to be under. Okay, now, how do you apply deprogramming to your real life situations? So this involves a conscious, often lifelong process of identifying, challenging, and releasing deeply ingrained beliefs, social conditionings, and limiting behaviors that were imposed by external forces, such as your upbringing, culture, or manipulative groups. Okay, so like I said, everybody has been raised differently, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you've been raised right. So you have to do the inner work. You have to identify what was good for you, what was bad for you, what worked within your family dynamics, what did not work, so that you can do the total opposite so that you can get a different outcome. Okay, so it is the act of transitioning from a programmed existence, living according to shoulds and societal expectations, to an authentic life based on your own values, critical thinking, and autonomy. So as stated before, so you're deprogramming your mind, basically moving away from social expectations and moving into authentic life-based values of your own, including critical thinking and autonomy. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, revelation. Define revelation. Revelation in its simplest form is a rescue plan, okay? A rescue plan, okay? Or a victory story. We can think of it as that as well. Written to encourage people that God wins in the end. It doesn't matter what you go through, God will always win in the end, okay? It is not designed to be a confusing, scary code, but rather a unveiling, which is what the word apocalypse means, of Jesus Christ's ultimate victory over evil. Okay, so applying revelations to real life hardships can involve basically finding hope, perspective, and strength by trusting in God's sovereignty over evil and in the promise of a restored future, rather than focusing on fear or apocalypse. The devil will literally he'll have you feeding off of that fear, having you making impulsive actions, and not really like depending on God. And we'll get into that in a different slide, because I got another slide for that as well. But basically, it provides comfort by affirming that present suffering is temporary and that a final victory is secured through Christ's faithfulness. Okay, so you have to be faithful. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If you have faith in God, you will have faith and you will have hope that he will get you through that bad season of your life. Okay, but you got to have the faith. You can't give in, because when you give in, you give the devil what he wants, and we don't want that. We got to continue pushing forward, no matter how hard, no matter how challenging, no matter how heartbreaking a situation is. You have to continue to move forward, but learn what you need to learn within that predicament, so that you won't have to go through that season again. Okay, you can have the same outcome. You can have the same situation that transpired, but a different outcome, because your mindset has shifted. I'll go into that in a different slide as well, but let's keep it pushing. All right, so spiritual development. Spiritual development is achieved by cultivating intentional habits that foster inner growth, okay? Such as daily prayer, meditation, scripture study, and quiet reflection. We have to reflect. I will always enforce that. If you do not reflect, God will force you to reflect. And literally, you are wasting time when God has to force you to reflect, because he has to send you through these tests, which is basically you going through karma because you was being too hard-headed to listen to him, and you've basically wasted time. If you just willingly do the self-reflecting, God will literally push you through that next stage of your life with you not wasting time he'll put you to the next stage of your life, which is basically you walking into your blessings, and him not having to put you through trial and error, you going through karma because you got a hard ass motherfucking head and you're not willing to listen to him, with you basically wasting time stunting your growth when you could have been further where you needed to be, when you could have been further than where you're at now, because you had to basically, God had to stop you in your tracks and send you the other route to go through karma and all this other shit, because you still have other shit to learn. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to eventually get there, but time has been wasted. You could have been further than where you're at now because you didn't listen. You didn't want to listen. You was hard-headed. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. Everybody has their own life to live. So, key practices, spiritual development. Key practices include engaging in community fellowship, serving others, which is what I'm doing. Giving back to the community by, voicing my opinion when it comes to my story, my life trial and errors. You get what I'm saying? I'm in the medical field. I'm helping individuals in the medical field as well. I have my books that I'm giving to, whoever wants to listen to what I have to say. For real, I can only put the message out there. It's up to you guys to receive it, comprehend it, and to apply it to what you need to apply to. I just know that I'm doing my part. I'm just doing my part by listening to God and him telling me basically to do this. So I'm aligned within my purpose because he told me to do this, and I'm doing what he told me to do. I know what it's like to not have anything. You get what I'm saying? I know what it's like to have everything. And the fact that God put me in this position to give back, I'm going to make sure that I do that because he's helping me stay aligned. He's providing for me in ways that can't no man or no woman can provide for me. I have a peace of mind. I know who I am as a person inside and out. Can't no other man or can't no other woman give me that. You get what I'm saying? I can only get that from source. So I have to do what he asks me to do when he tells me to do it, with no questions asked, because just as well as I once had just as well as I didn't have anything, and now that I have what I need, not only what I need but what I want, I know for a fact that he can take that away from me any day, because if I don't be obedient, like if I'm not obedient to his word, he can take that back with a blink of an eye. You get what I'm saying? So I'm trying to stay obedient, stay aligned, and not put myself in predicaments to where I'm being pulled left and right, kind of like, because I'm human, nobody's perfect. So you get what I'm saying? A lot of people may stir into societal expectations. You get what I'm saying? But it's like God, he always pulls me back. You get what I'm saying? He always pulls me back. I can't even get off track, not even an inch. Because the minute that I get off track an inch, he's yoking me up. He's yoking me up like, nah, I can't have you do that because you have a different assignment. You get what I'm saying? I have you going down a different path. You are the blueprint. I'm talking too fast. You are the blueprint to X, Y, and Z. I have to have you stay on this path. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, I've been having a lot of fun lately. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like, God damn, God, you ain't gonna, can I continue to have fun? Can I, whoop the whoop? But he like, nah, like, I'm not saying that you can't have fun, but you also have to balance it out. You get what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying aligned. And like, even when I'm off track, God will send me, he'll give me signs through a dream. You get what I'm saying? He'll send in people, or he'll just give me, like, God will talk to me in a way that I can receive it just as well as he'll talk to you in a way that you can receive it. Just because God talks to me in a certain way, that doesn't necessarily mean that he'll talk to you in a certain way. Everybody has their own spiritual gifts. You just have to tap in and be high vibrational enough to actually know what it is and how to maneuver within it. You get what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do on my end so that I can make sure that I'm giving back, but I'm also giving back organically and not just off of societal expectations. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference. So yes, serving others, practicing gratitude, and maintaining humility. Yes, heavy on maintaining humility. Like a couple weeks ago, God broke me down. Like, oh my God, he broke me down. I was just going through, and it was retrograde. So I can see why retrograde is all about reflecting and shit. So he sent me through a period of reflecting, and I'm not gonna lie, he broke me down, and I started crying like hell, because I'm like, damn, like, you really giving it to me, like, you really breaking me down. But I can only respect it because it's for my development. He wants me. He knows my path. You get what I'm saying? And even though I know a lot, God gave me the mindset and put the people in place within my life and the tests and the lessons that I needed to get me to my now mindset. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know everything. You get what I'm saying? And as humans, we sometimes be egotistical when it comes to knowledge, that we sometimes get too cocky, and God has to humble us in ways so that he can bring us back down to of realization to know that God is a powerful God. God is a jealous God. You get what I'm saying? So he reminds me in ways like, I'm grateful. I put you in this position off of the strength of the test that you've passed in your past. You know what I'm saying? Of the things that you went through in your past, and you passed it. You know what I'm saying? You used your intuition. You used your discernment. You did what you needed to do to pass those tests. So that's why I granted you with the mindset that you have now. You get what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for that. But I also have to exemplify, like, I also have to show humility to let him know that I'm humble. You get what I'm saying? I have to stay humble in order for me to proceed to get to those next levels and those next stages of my life. And I have to do that because through experience, God, he gonna break your ass down. Like, you don't, you know stuff, but you don't know everything. So I have to put you in these positions so that you can exercise humility, basically. So yeah, so make sure you guys exercising humility, because if not, he will break your ass down. I can attest to that. Okay, hello. I'm not perfect, but I am a realist, so I'm giving y'all real life situations that has transpired in my life, but it's helped me. You get what I'm saying? I'm not stressing. You get what I'm saying? I'm majority of my life, not majority of my life, like my mindset now is majority, like I'm at peace. I'm not stressing about shit. Like, God is providing for me in ways that, like I said, can't no man or no woman provide for me. So I'm good. Like, I'm at a good spot spiritually within my life, and I'm okay with it. I'm grateful for that. And like, I'm where I need to be mentally, which is I'm where I need to be mentally and spiritually, which is the 5D. So it's gravitating outwardly, which is basically the 3D, which is real life shit. You get what I'm saying? It's gravitating now. And now people are able to see that. You get what I'm saying? So just honestly standing in your purpose and standing in your truth will literally get you far in life, bro. I swear. But God is amazing, bro. Anyway, let's keep going, because we can talk about God all day. It says it involves aligning your life with divine principles and always remain teachable. You have to always remain teachable. Okay, so remaining teachable is basically a leadership characteristic that you have to have. You get what I'm saying? When God puts you in a place, for a lot of chosen people, God will put you through certain tests to test your leadership skills. You get what I'm saying? Excuse me. God will put you through certain tests to test your leadership skills. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, even though I know a lot, I know that I don't know everything. So God will put me in a position so that I can be teachable. You get what I'm saying? And so if I'm not where I need to be spiritually or mentality wise to comprehend or to be receptive to those teachings when he wants me to be teachable within that season or within that period of my life, he'll break me down. He'll humble me. Like, listen, I know that you know a lot for your age, but you do not know everything. You still have a long way to go. You came far. Don't get me wrong. You're far from where you used to be, but you still have a long way to go. So as a leader, bruh, from a leader to a leader, bruh, just remain teachable, bruh. Remain teachable. And that was something that I had to really like be humble with, because yeah, God no. Like, I'm just glad that I was able to work on that, and I'm still working on that, because it's really me versus me. I want to be a better woman for not only myself but for my kids. So I gotta do the inner work constantly, everyday type, and I gotta reflect and to see what I need to work on, see what I lack, work on the area in my life so that I can become a better version of self. All right, so don't earn the effort of God when he's already embedded within your identity. So a lot of people are out here thinking that they have to. Now, God does say give back. Now, I'm not saying that he's saying don't give back, but a lot of people do it with wrong intentions. A lot of people give back not out of purity, but they give back on with the expectations of receiving something back. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people be like, oh, well, let me give this to somebody. Let me just give this to somebody, because I know God gonna bless me. You get what I'm saying? Like, initially, yes, he is, but if you're doing it with a bad heart, he's not, because you're looking for something in return. You're not doing out of pureness. You get what I'm saying? So it's the difference. Now, what does this actually mean? So you don't need to work hard to strive or to perform for God, or to perform for God with anything, even when it comes to his love. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to seek approval from him, because he's already in you. He's already within you. You just have to do the inner work, self-reflect, find God within self, which is your higher self. And once you tap in and you, everything like the mind and the heart and the soul, once everything aligns and come together as one, man, you're gonna be a powerful motherfucker, I'm telling you. All right, so next slide. All right, think for yourself and stop living in the matrix. I'm gonna say that one more time. Think for yourself and stop living in the matrix. The matrix is basically 3D. Stop living in the 3D. Stop living within a box. We are designed to think outside of the box, but we have been conditioned for so many years, so many decades, so many fucking centuries, however you want it, BCs, I don't care. However, we've been conditioned so bad that we forgot who we truly are as individuals, as humans, as societal beings. Like, we have lost and became so far-fetched from self. Like, it's kind of aggravating. I ain't gonna hold you. It's aggravating as hell, because it's like, do you not want to become the best version of yourself? Do you not want to show your kids better? Do you not want to experience things that your parents and your great-grandparents and so forth haven't experienced within your lineage, your lineage? Like, come on, bruh. But let's go ahead and get to the slide. So, reflecting. What does reflecting mean? Reflecting means a deep thought or consideration where your mind turns inward to ponder something. So, when you're looking inwardly, you're reflecting. You're pondering on something. You're assessing. Okay? So, what does reflecting look like in real terms, in real life terms? Reflecting means asking yourself those difficult questions. Example, why am I thinking this way? What would this outcome be if I proceed? And that's with the good and the bad. Why did I react in anger, and what underlying fear caused that? I'm a root cause type of woman. Yeah, you acted off of impulse, and yes, you acted out of anger, but what's the why? What is the root cause as to why you felt as though that you could act in that manner? Was it because you've always did that in your childhood growing up and nobody corrected you? Like, we have to get to the root cause of these situations, bro. Like, these emotions, like all of this, we are too grown to not assess on the actions that we are giving, that we are doing right now. We are too grown at our big old ages to still be acting how some of these people are out here acting. I don't care how you were raised. Once you get to a certain age of your life of you knowing right from wrong, bruh, you know for a fact what you are doing. I don't care how you were raised, because at this point you have a victim mentality, and I can't fuck with you at that point, because you're looking for sympathy when you have the opportunity to change your outcome as an individual, as a grown ass adult. You have the opportunity to change your outcome, yet you sit here and still try to portray this victim mentality, embody this victim mentality, thinking somebody is going to sympathize for you. We are not. At least I'm not. Do better, bro. All right, so identify those feelings and always try to figure out the root cause of it. Journal, and also identify projections. I just stated this. Identify projections, okay? Identify those things. We have to assess our life. I don't care if you have to write it down. I don't care if you have to do a vision board. Assess your life. What has been good for me? What has worked? What is not working? What is not working? What do I need to change as an individual? What do I need to change overall? I don't care if it's business. I don't care if it's as a woman, as a man, as just overall. What do I need to change so that I can better myself as a person, okay? And also be able to accept constructive criticism, but also be aware enough to construct and correct self, okay? All advice is not good advice. So I always say this. Yeah, it's okay to get advice, but know and understand who you're getting advice from. If the person you're getting advice from, if they don't have a history of good fruitfulness, like their fruit displaying, then that's not a good person that you need to be getting good advice from. You get what I'm saying? If a person is not practicing what they preach, and they have literally receipts of them practicing what they preach and actually applying what needs to apply to better themselves, why are you sitting here listening to that person? And a lot of people don't even catch on to this shit until they already done fucked their life up by listening to the next person that's literally led them astray. You have to realize a lot of people see your potential before you do. So if you're out here still trying to figure yourself out, the best thing for you to do is to isolate, reflect, pull back from everybody. I don't care. Pull back from everybody. If you don't know, sorry, If you don't know who you are as an individual, you need to take that time to sit by yourself and reflect. I'm talking about cut out social media, cut off that TV, journal, write, do what you need to do. What are my do's and my don'ts? Do what you need to do to assess self, to figure out who you are as an individual. You need to figure out who you are inwardly so that you can radiate and actually be who you need to be outwardly. Because it's easy to see when somebody is putting up an image when you're spiritually where you need to be. You feel me? So do what you need to do, but you have to do the inner work. You can't let somebody else tell you how you need to navigate your life when you are your own vessel. Do what you need to do, bruh. Do that inner work. You got this shit. It's gonna be hard, but that shit gonna make you it's building your spiritual strength. You have to be the one to do that. Ain't nobody else gonna be able to answer to God but you. Everybody got their own life to live. You have to put that work in. Can't nobody else put that work in for you. Do that shit. All right, so yeah, try to get information from source, God, as he will always guide you on the correct path. Even though I'm voicing my opinion, I'm saying what I need to say, I will always push people towards God off rip. Like, that's my main source. Even though I'm voicing my opinion,